tape, one for the student, one for the instructor, or somebody that over level 8, and you can purchase these. For people that do not come to the seminar, the Cheung students, they will pay $125 for one tape, and for this two hours tape, is it, Sunny?
Yes.
2-hour tape. For you, because we might be around, I have to leave here at 4 o'clock sharp because my plane is at 6, and you can stay here, do some revision until 4:30. For you, it's $75, right? And also, we want to warn you that we do not want this tape to be copied and distributed. And if you are found to be copying the tape, then you might have to deal with your own instructor. So to cut see with the tape, we have the whole system in there. It's a very good reference, but you can't learn from the tape. You can use it as a reference. So the best thing is you get the tape and then you still go to the classes, and then you would get a lot of benefits out of it. So to start off, I want to put the self-protection system, the technique into the tape. So I will demonstrate this the technique. Okay. Now for a stick attack, right? So if you just block here, it's still coming into you. So you have to block. You have to block here, and the stick. The toughest part of your body is your palm. So you use the palm, right? And then you can take this off. Right? Do it slow, right? Here, right? You stop, and then you steady. You don't need to hold on the palm. You just steady here, and in here there's a pressure point in here. So you rip this off. You rip this off, right? Straight from here. So you rip this off, and then you can use, right? So one more time, right? Right? Okay. So it's very, very simple technique, right? And for a backhand swing, similarly, you got to stop. You got to make sure this. If you stop here, this still will come onto you. So you got to make sure. Right? So you use the arm lock here. So your arm lock, you must have your body, your shoulder over, and the straight arm is that most strong movement on your arm. So even though you pull this one up, you're still using straight arm. You pull it with your shoulder. You only need. So you pin this person down there. All right, just over the elbow. Right? So I do it once more. Slow, right? Right. Then, right. So arm lock. Okay. Now, when you deal with somebody with a weapon, don't put your arm out there because he's going to attack my arm, and then I'm going to pull my arm away. I'm going to expose. The best thing is to keep your arm on the side so you expose the target, so he can attack target, the main target. Then you can defend it. Right? So once more. Right? Okay. So an overhead attack, right? So you can use the same technique that I just showed you, or you can use a different one. But so from here, you're just using the same technique, right? So you just block, right? You just block, right? Like that. Use your palm, right? Then you just take this across. Okay. They are low swing, right? Same thing. You got to stop it, right? So you got from here low swing. So when this stick is low, you got to take it across, right? So you, right? You face the point of contact, take it up over your head, and take it across, right? Then if you want to get him down, you can trip this, or you can just pin him down here, all right? So on the other side, similarly, right? Face the point of contact, and the arm lock is a very useful movement, right? So I just run through this. You won't be practicing this because we're going to go into the 5 stages of comeback, and I just run through this self-defense technique. That will be the tape. Okay? So the next one I'm going to show you about how to disarm a knife. With somebody with a sharp weapon, you've got to be very careful, right? Because you cannot block the weapon, right? So if you cannot take your shoes off using it as a block, then you have to do it with your arm, with your bare hand. Then you would use this technique. But if you can just take your shoes off, then you can use that as a block. That would be much better way of dealing with a weapon, right? So you can have a straight thrust, right? So same thing with a knife, that you don't put your arm in front to defend, then they can cut your arm. So you put your arm on the side. So a thrust, right? And then you keep as much distance as possible from, so you can hit this person, right? If you, I show you, we do it slowly, right? So even though, if you are here, and you're too close to the person, and he can roll out, or he can switch. So you've got to keep, see that? Keep this distance. So a thrust comes in, you push it away, your body is no longer behind this, right? If you, right, your body is behind it and it's pushing you off balance, it's very hard for you to do anything. So what you do is, right, then you see that you drag this, so he can't do very much from here, okay? A backhand slash. Right? So, see how I use my arm? Always straight arm when you block, because that is the strongest move. Right? You think about energy that goes out. Okay? So, straight arm. This arm lock is very useful. But now, if I do it slowly, there's something there, right? I'm going to cut myself. So I'm going to pull this. And also I'm going to put him slightly off balance, so I can control. See that? I can control there. And also he can't swap. He can't steal this from you. If you are very close,
Get his knee through.
and he can still,
You can see what his knee is doing.
you're in trouble. Right? So you've got to keep him off balance. Alright? Okay? And overhead. See, that's another way of using a knife. They hold it. Usually they hold it like this, and they, yeah. So there's certain stage that you have to either stop the movement or you have to dislodge it in a certain way. So if this arm comes down before it extended, right? And then we will do one movement to counter. If the arm is already extended, then you will have to do another one, right? So from here, right? Then you lock it here, then you take it. Then you, right? So from here, then your foot is here, then you put him on balance, right? Right, put him on balance, right? Okay? But if his arm is extended here, then you do this one, right? So you do this one. Over here, there's a pressure point here. Then if you do that, you use your arm, then it will drop whatever you got. It will drop that because that pressure point just over the elbow is very, very, very vulnerable. Okay? Where's the other one? A backhand slash of forearm, right? So same thing, you take it across over your head. Don't take it across like that, you hit yourself. Right? Straight arm over your head. And take this foot away, pull him slightly off balance, then you pin him there. Right? And then you're using this bone here on this. Right? On just this pressure point here. Okay? A backhand slash, same thing. You stop, and then you just go straight into there. Will make him drop. Right? Unfortunately, we don't have time to run through this with you, but like I said, you get the videotape, and your instructor will show you through the classes of all these techniques, right? Okay. For the low slash, same thing. You must face the point of contact where you make contact here, right? Then you take this across. Now watch this leg. Then right? Or you could make a hit first, right? Then you do this, right? All depends on what you feel like at that time. All right. Now we're going to run through some generally speaking, that anybody reaching out to you, you should take it as a punch. So don't let him grab you first, because once he got you on your shirt, you're going to put you off balance. It's very hard for you to counter or react if you're off balance, right? So you take, see something reaching out, you take that, right? You take that as a strike. So you push this back out, chins out, right? The tempo is very vulnerable. The tempo, you can't knock somebody out with 40 pound, 30 pound of force. So the tempo, and there's a pressure point in here that you could knock somebody out 10 pound of force. So it doesn't matter how big the person is, those points still work for you, right? In fact, the more muscle the person has, the more vulnerable are the pressure points, because the pressure points are more exposed. So you got there, and then maybe you got here, not on the neck, it's just on the stem of the scalp here. Then you can use elbow, and you can use. See, if you're going to hit the body, don't hit the chest, because there's muscle protecting the chest, and also the ribs are much thicker. So you hit the floating rib, right? Those floating ribs, you can crack them 20 pounds, 30 pounds before, because there's nothing supporting the floating ribs here on the side here, right? So you're going to hit the floating rib, and then maybe if you are quite strong, you put a lock like that. You put him off balance. It's very hard for him to get out. All right. For rank punch, right? See, I'm talking about some defense that you're teaching it to. Later on, you're teaching to people that hasn't got Wing Chun trainings. So it's very hard for you to teach them to throw a straight punch. So for round punch, you could, right? So you could teach them to use the back fist, right? And then straight away, right? So you go from here, right? Okay? Or come back with the elbow, right? And for a bear hug first. Now, see, it all depends on reflexes. See, if he grabbed me and pulled me off balance, then it's very hard for me to do anything, right? But I still got one thing to do. What I do is, let's get over let's face, not the mirror, but so you grab me, you put me on balance, right? Then I push back, so I got my balance back. Then I can get out. So you just keep going back until you get your balance back, because he's pulling you. If you are balanced, you cannot do anything, right? Or you could do this, right? If you have balance, bang, right? Right? Then you can, or finger jab, or then you can get out. So you take up your leg, right? You pick up your leg and go for the ground. So you got this release, you turn, and remember, the palm is the strongest part, the toughest part of your body. So you can knock the guy out, no matter how big he is, you can knock that guy out, right? I'm going to show you a pressure point that I hope that you keep it in this family, right? Because it's very, very dynamic, and if you let the assailant or the baddies know, then it can be used very, very, can be very devastating, right? So there's a pressure point that doesn't matter how big they are, how strong they are, you can put them on their knee. Then you put him on the knee. Then, see? Right? So, right. Then, right? So once I got it here, now okay, this guy, doesn't matter how big he is, if I don't want him to get out, right? Okay. So it's very simple, but it's very devastating, right? We would only release this, don't because it's too devastating that you give it to everybody. So it's on the end of the nail, just any nail, any nail. So you just apply.
Guys, I'm trying to get a close up of the hand.
You stand in this stand up because it will be so painful that he doesn't even want to pull away. So he will be there. So any nail, right? So you using the index finger to steady it up, and then you that. Right? One touch, the person will be on the knee. So you come in. See, doesn't matter what technique you use. If the person knows you're going to use it, it's very hard to apply. So you keep that for yourself, right? And don't even tell your, I don't know, but probably you tell your parents, but don't tell anybody or the neighbors or anything, because it's very devastating, right? So,
can you just do that technique one time straight through?
One time. Okay. So you either get him. So once the finger is sticking out, then you can use it. Right? So you do that. Then the finger is sticking out. Then you can apply that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
You can apply that. Right. So this arm is just to steady his arm. But even just do that, he would not like to pull away because the pain that he got in there will stop him thinking. It stop him to react normally. So you can actually put him down on a restraint, right? And also, I want to show you. See, because when we practice finger jabs, and it's dynamic, but normal people cannot do that. So instead of using a finger jab, you just use a flick. So it's just as effective, right? So if somebody grabs your arm and you just flick, right? So, and then just flick, then you can sort of temporarily blind this person, and you can get a lot of advantage from there. All right. Now, the rest of those grips is in the cylindrical form, that the last one, that you do that. But you're going to do it with a step, so you multiply your effect from there, right? So remember that some of you have taken private lessons from me, I always, that's good, secret technique, so that okay. So whenever you step back, always put your weight on the back foot, right? So from here, so you can take, or you can go straight into counter attack. All right. So is anyone that suggests any attack that I could show you how to get out? Or you want to ask anything? Otherwise, we wrap up this.
Yeah, flexible weapon, like a chain or something.
A chain.
Yeah, flexible weapon of some sort.
Yeah. 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 With the weapons, right? I know that people have devious minds. They have think of all different devious ways. Yeah, I have seen people that actually put a gear and a chain in a paper bag. So all you see is the paper bag. You don't know what it is. So it comes in and boom, yeah, and then the gear actually come out of the paper bag like a snake attacking, right? So with the chain, you just have to wrap your arm around, right? I hope that it's not other thing that they attach to the chain. So you can see what I mean. That you have to try to see. But a lot of times that if you have a belt, then the belt can be a very good weapon that you can use it to defend yourself. Or just take your shoes off and you put your hand in the shoes. Then it can be a very effective protection for your arm, right? Okay? Yeah?
Yes, another
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to come and lunge in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you only have to deal with one arm. If some people lunge, right? You only have to deal with one arm. So don't try to deal with two arms. Then he's going to give you a headbutt or something that's going to blow you over.
Either one.
Either one doesn't matter, right? Right? So either one doesn't matter. You only have to deal with one arm. And all right, I can show you another one that if something grab hold to you with two arms, right? In fact, it's easier to get out when somebody gets hold of your two arms because most people can only think of one thing at a time. Isn't it right, Jimmy? Right? So it's easier to get out. So all you have to do is deal with the first one, then you'll get out, right? So you don't have to deal with two arms, keep struggling with. So you just deal with the first one, then you get out, right? Right. Same thing if somebody grab, this way, right? So with this way, that you get one arm out first, right? So use a bit of psychology. That now, say if I do this, right? You get out of the car, right? So I actually clap my hand, right? So I got out because it's just a surprise. Same thing with this way, right? Right. So you just get out by using a different movement. All right? You just grab your hand. Right. All right. Then you can get out from there. Right. Same thing in here. Right. Okay.
What about those people that get your head off before you're around?
Yeah. Okay. Now, so on the headlock, see if my arms are here. So this movement come up, the shock will come straight up to his brain. He say, all right, please let go. Right. Because you got to use common and also don't panic. And your balance is the most important thing. The balance. If you don't have the balance, you will not have any way to see. You can do both ways, right? Either way. But unfortunately, Jesse hasn't got head. So you go to the eye, right? You go to the eye and then the throat, right? So you pull back and then the throat. It's very effective. But to do that, you got to be much taller than the person. So I think going underneath, or you make him slightly off balance, then you can get out. All right? Okay? So how about we wrap this session off, and I just tap myself, and then we go into the 5 stage of comeback. We're going to the genuine Wing Chun thing, right? Okay. Firstly, the reason I do this is because I want to make sure that we don't give up. If you give up, that's the end. So some of you approached me about what you have done with somebody hold the gun, right? So there's even way of holding the gun or depends how far away from you, right? If the person is out there, is holding a gun out there, you have got this chance.
You can't get
Right?
around
You
that.
have no chance.
You don't shoot
Maybe
him.
here, yes, then you might be able to do something, right? Because I know it's secret weapons, secret. Right? So, but in the old guard, they hold the gun, they point the gun. And it's very hard for you to do it from them or dislodge. But in the new one, they're sticking out these, right? So if you have an arm length, then you could get a very good chance, right? So you could, because you could block it away, and then you could, probably 70-30 chance, 70 to him, 30 to me. But so if somebody sticks the gun here, right, then you might get a chance because it's touching you, and then you know that if he's going to shoot you right there. So if you swing your arm for only 0.1 of a second, you swing your arm. So if he's going to shoot you, it takes him about 0.15 of a second. So you got 0.05 of a second advantage. Right? So, but if he's away from you, then it's very hard for you to do anything. I mean, you don't know where he is. Right? Right? But you get a very good chance if he's just an arm length from you. Right? So even though he's pointing to your head, you would have a probably 90-10 chance, 90 to me, or even probably less. But you still have a chance, right? If the probability is. But see, for a person to decide something and then to act, at least about 0.25 of a second, right? So he's saying, I'm going to shoot him from here to there, about 0.25, and then it takes a little bit for him to pull his trigger. So you got 0.3 of a second. So you can act within that range, right? Within that time span, right? So, but there's no chance if he's out there and you are here. There's no chance for you, right? Because no matter what you do, he just, follow you, right? Okay. So we want to get on with the 5 stages of combat. Firstly, that everybody in the Wing Chun, you realize that we always put the arm in the center. The reason you put your arm in the center is that you eliminate anything that comes in the center. So you force the person going outside of you. So he takes a longer path. We take a shorter path, right? And also we want to use 2 arms at the same time. And we don't fight force with force, right? So if you put your arm in the center, And also we stand on a neutral stance, right? When we stand on a neutral stance, we have a hidden weapon that nobody realized that we have. Is that, right? See, if he comes any closer, I could kick him because I'm kicked with this leg, I don't kick with this one, right? So if somebody just come in and jab, you can just kick, and then you can, get advantage, right? But let me show you the fighting strategy, right? See, I don't know when you watch boxing or watch people fight. I don't know whether you take notice that if he throws a punch, right? If I block cross arm, right? Straight away I eliminate this arm because I cannot reach him. There's no way I can reach him on this arm, right? So if I don't kick him with this leg, virtually, I'm in a very bad position, right? Because straight away I got to deal with this one, right? But if you have a good front kick, right, then you put pressure back on him, right? That's all right. So that's why if you block cross arm, that means left arm against left arm. You got to kick. Otherwise you're in a very bad position. Or you got to get away. There. See? If he's going to hit me again with that arm, he's going to come inside, right? So things like that is very important because you know when you have disadvantage, when you have advantage, right? And also if you fight with somebody face to face in here, right? So that means really very little you can do because you got to deal with two arms at the same time. So that's why I teach you to say he throws a punch, right? So I'm going on the blind side, right? From the blind side, I don't need to deal with this one because it would never reach me. I don't need to deal with this one. So I have one arm controlling two arms. So it's not because I'm stronger than this person or because, it's just a system I'm using that is more superior. So you have to go to the blind side. So that's why we teach you a lot of rotations and a lot of things that, but if a person throws a round punch, you cannot go outside of his round punch because he won't let you. So you must stop. So that's why you have sort of a two-stage techniques, right? So he throws a round punch, right? So you punch, then you come around, right? So you put pressure back on this person first. So you're using two arms at the same time, you block and punch at the same time. You're putting pressure back on him. Then you move to the blind side. So basically, that's what you do. And in the system, you know that we do chi sao. The chi sao is to develop your contact reflexes, right? So you develop your contact reflexes that at the point of contact, you know exactly where the person balance and what distance is away from you, where's the target, and also how the energy is going. So you can use his force to your advantage. So that's why you do, contact reflexes, right? But if I enter, I would not just go in and strike. What I would do is I use an entry technique, right? So I use this leg as a shield, so I stop the front kick coming in, so that I have to divert my movement to defend the front kick. So, and then, right? So same thing, go onto the right side. So you only have to deal with one arm, unless he's stupid enough to swing around because it's really, that spinning back fist is really useless because it takes so long. It's from here to there to come around and hit you. If you get hit one of those, you shouldn't be doing any martial art because you just fly up. You get a certificate for blindness and nobody will. probably more, right? So if you in this time, then you cannot do anything. In this time, you cannot put up your arm to stop that. You must be blind, right? So all you do is go to the blind side, then you have a lot of opening, right? A lot of openings, right? So you stop that. Right? That is the strategy. All right. So you have an entry technique, but before you go in, you have to know where you put your feet. For cross leg, you want to put your feet inside of this stance, right? Because if you put your feet outside, it can turn you around. That is stupid because you cannot retain your body. You turn your back, you cannot retain your body. So you must, right, in here. So you still, the elbow is the most important thing. So before contact, you watch the elbow, and for a straight punch, right, you can see, because a straight punch will travel the elbow will travel 2.5 times slower than the fist. It's further away from your eye, and then you can see. Right? You can see. Right? I mean, if you watch the fist, you're going to be in trouble, right? because it's too close to your eye, and also it's very deceiving, right? And also I teach you to block close to the elbow anyway. Right? So for a round punch, the elbow will move before the fist. And also the elbow travel at least 4 times slower than the fist. So you can see from here, right? Because this is the center, this is the inside circumference, outside circumference. Alright? So you always watch the elbow. With the kicks, you watch the knee. Right? So what I want to do now is to give you some